everyone, it's Morphin Mania time. I'm Captain Logan. And there's DJ.
Okay, I didn't know who was going first.
And joining me, well, DJ, you should always be next because you're my regular co-host. We've got DJ this evening, and we've also got Jeffrey Patron.
All the Jeff for only half the price.
Jeff is guesting with us again tonight to watch some more Power Rangers Zeo. This will be the first Zeo show Jeffrey's been on. Last time he was here, we were still, I want to say in season 3, Mighty Morphin was when Jeffrey was here before. My stepdad, Jeff, was not able to make it tonight, so we have replaced Jeff with another Jeff. And tonight we are going to tackle what I think is probably the worst Power Rangers Zeo episode, or at least the one I remember being the most difficult to sit through and most obnoxious. This one is kind of notorious, for crying out loud. This is one that Eric thought we were watching a couple of weeks ago, but no, this one's in Zeo. I wish Eric was here to feel our pain, to be perfectly honest with you. And then after that, we're doing Rangers in the Outfield, which I assume is a baseball thing, but I don't remember it right off. Although I do think there is a baseball monster, so that's probably what I'm remembering it from. Anyway, if you're watching live, thanks so much for being here with us. We are going to be batch shooting tonight, but we are starting earlier than normal, so we're going to be going until around 10 o'clock, just Central Time, just after 10. We're starting a little bit late because I had weird technical issues, but luckily I was able to get past them. My computer would not play video. It just, on any program at all, would not play video. I've never had that. So luckily it is now playing video, and you'll be able to watch what we're watching as we're watching it via the Rabbit Room. If you're watching live, click the link in the description, and that way you don't have to sync up with us. You can just see what we're seeing with very little lag with our commentary. And if you're watching after the fact, get out your DVD, your Netflix, however you want to watch it, get it at timestamp 0, and make sure, much I'm sure to your chagrin, once you start watching it, that you're watching episode 5 of Power Rangers Zeo. It's for crying out loud. But the good news is, it still has that wonderful intro with that wonderful theme song. Is everybody ready to begin?
I am.
All right, here we go. Everybody, please press play right now.
I'm sorry, my throat has been a little whatever. It's like I've been strangled by the power of the Power Rangers.
Wow, so Jeffrey's got throat problems. DJ's just coming off of some kind of illness.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a low key DJ today, guys. I'm gonna be a little quiet because my throat is full as well.
Are you gonna be an easy listening DJ?
Hopefully.
Playing some tunes from yesteryear. It's DJ.
All the smooth jazz. Power Rangers with David Rose as Billy.
Hey, so Cap, I was looking at something. Did you?
What's up?
Did you see? Have you ever seen the little mini episode things that set up this season?
Yes, I've talked about this, and I haven't been able to find them anywhere.
Okay, I never saw those, but I heard about them recently.
Did you find them?
No, I didn't find them, but I heard about them. Apparently,
I brought it up 3 or 4 times, but nobody ever knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, I just saw.
I play it like a big giant. That's part of why it felt like Zeo felt like a big mysterious thing. And yeah, over the summer they would play these 45-second to a minute shorts, or maybe they were longer. I don't remember because I haven't seen them since they were on 20-something years ago.
Wow.
But I remember them from the time.
Yeah, watched an overview of this season compared to the Sentai, and he mentioned them in the beginning. So, and he showed some footage, so maybe he found them somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, cool. Maybe they are on the special features for the box set, if it has special features.
Maybe. I could check.
I don't know if you've ever looked at the Zeo features.
I haven't. I'll have to dig that up.
Bulk and Skull are crashing into things, riding their motorcycle, which we just set up recently. One thing I'll give them is that they shoot most of this kind of stuff practically. Usually they don't do a lot of reprojection and stuff like that in the show, so I guess that's good. Actually mount a camera. Yeah,
it's nice. And it's cool that they have this actual functioning motorcycle that they get to use.
Jeffrey, for some reason, is really enjoying the music in the scene.
It's called Banjo Bonanza, and you'll respect this cat.
Man, if I was a kid at this point, I would wonder if I had tuned into the wrong show. We're so far in and we haven't seen anything remotely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we do this kind of thing sometimes with Bulk and Skull, where you'll open with just kind of a silly sketch with them. And by sketch, I mean one-note joke that goes on forever. But look, we're outside the juice bar, and that's standing set. So
I love that he's just spending this whole time trying to get ketchup out. That's what we're invested in here.
Skull, your line is, "I hate manure." That's.
Wait, are they supposed to be about to run into him?
I was having Back to the Future flashbacks hard. Oh, for a second, I thought we were cutting to commercial. Did they really go to black? And I was just praising them for production values. That was a mistake.
Well, they were clearly nowhere near the juice bar set when they were driving. Like, it was a completely different background.
Wouldn't that have been that's true. Wouldn't that have been a hilarious commercial break where, like, we can't wait to find out how Bulk and Skull get out of this?
And the answer is they don't. They crash.
I don't think we've ever had a Bulk and Skull commercial break. It's like they're not the drama of the show, so that would be dumb. I'm sorry, what was that, Jeffrey?
Hey guys, check out my new red shirt. Got it from Ralph Lauren. I heard that's hip these days.
Yeah, Tommy has to have the record for having to spend the most money on new colors for wardrobe. It's like every couple of years or less, he's got to replace everything in his wardrobe. But at least between Zeo and Turbo, he gets to stay red. Keep all of his red clothes. It felt really funky, DJ, getting into Zeo, where suddenly Tommy's wearing red. And
yeah, and they're all wearing blue. So this is weird. I didn't know that their relationship kind of started like this. They have to pretend to be married, and they don't want to at all.
They got to do the Superman 2 thing? Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Wow, they actually give them a kid? That's a pretty crazy high school.
Yeah, I could have done without the wedding music. Did not need that.
What in the world kind of home ec class gives you an actual live human to take care of?
One with a great insurance policy.
I don't think it was the class. She just said she volunteered. I don't know if that actually had anything to do with the home ec class.
Okay.
Or did it?
Oh no, are we gonna have like another 20-minute diaper change scene? Like
probably so, and it's really weird how close in proximity these things are. Why is that baby crying in stereo? Is that supposed to be a joke where it's like, these kids don't know how to deal with babies, and it sounds like it's everywhere. Like, at first I was like, are there 3 of them?
10 Shades of Creepy just got added.
This would be so much more believable if he didn't look like he was 30.
Boy, that kid is loud. So yeah, we're going to spend most of this episode just chasing a baby carriage, if memory serves. And there's going to be a whole thing with Tommy and a milk bottle. Because that's what passes for comedy in this show. Is look, Tommy does, and of course, he's not going to really learn anything about like raising kids or appreciating children more, or finding like his fatherly side. Or if he does, I haven't seen this in a long time, it will probably be really superficial and obligatory.
Well, at the end, he'll be the best dad ever.
Yeah, like, they're treating him like first season Picard right now.
What? Whose child are you, like, taking care of for?
I don't know. I missed some of the exposition.
Like, he's living with them?
Yeah, or are they staying at the kid's house? That seems more likely, right?
Yeah.
They're like, as babysitters, they're taking care of the kid. And well, that's horrifying.
That's creepy.
Wow. Well, if they were going for nightmare fuel for 5-year-olds, they have nailed it.
I might have watched this at only a month old, but yeah.
Bulk is making a Junior Police Patrol song, and it's fantastic. I would make the argument that with this premise, this is the episode where you could have gotten away with not featuring the Rangers at all and the whole thing being Bulk and Skull and just doing like a 3 men and a baby thing. And you could say, oh, but you couldn't use Sentai footage because you wouldn't have a monster. Nah, still do that. Have Bulk and Skull somehow beat the monster. Or the Power Rangers just show up at the end of the Megazord. Like, there's no human footage at all, and they just show up at the end.
Or they're just in the background.
We could always do one that's not from their perspective.
Having them in the background, and I don't know if we ever do that anywhere else. I can't think of anything in Mighty Morphin era, but that's actually kind of a cool idea, where you focus on Bulk and Skull, or even Ernie, or just somebody else, one of the other peripheral characters, and you do all the regular Sentai footage that you'd usually use. Oh, shaky cam, you gotta count that.
Yeah.
But you never actually see our characters except for maybe right at the very end. And you make it about like you make it almost, I mean, it wouldn't be this, but you make it almost like a Marvels thing, where it's about the people on the ground.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be a cool way to write a Power Rangers like miniseries.
Yeah. And again, we do that kind of thing a little bit in the IDW or IDW in the Boom comics, but I don't even think there's like an entire issue written that way.
So they gave the baby like a superpower?
Yes,
that's crazy.
Which is kind of an irritatingly typical thing to do if you think about it. There are a lot of movies, they're usually sequels that do that, where we have to add a baby into the mix because we can't think of or some kind of a kid because we just don't have any ideas, and that kid is some kind of like prodigy or has a really dangerous superpower, or there's some kind of a like prophecy attached to the kid.
Or they can throw a piano across a room.
Yeah, exactly. we especially do it with decades later sequels. / reboots /
love letters to the original.
Yeah. Whatever Superman Returns was. Hodgepodge of boring madness that was. Okay, do you really want to put... Oh, you put on headphones so that you couldn't hear that. Okay. I thought they were playing that through it.
No, that would be...
Have they saturated Zordon's head a little? Or am I just crazy?
Maybe. I didn't notice it.
He does look a little different.
His voice sounds lower.
Like a little pink.
Maybe he's under the weather, too.
Lower energy is Zordon. Tommy, until then, we've got one dangerous baby out there.
So we haven't been counting in a while, but I did update. We do have 2 more multicolored Rangers now, which are Adam and Rocky.
Oh, that's true. Is that a thing we're counting? Like color changes, or what exactly are we counting?
I'm just counting Rangers that have multiple colors.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But it won't last very long. I mean, it'll happen in the beginning here, but eventually it won't come up anymore. Yeah,
because you're not gonna have any Rangers that stick around to have their colors change.
Yeah,
because we'll have a different cast every year. That was an odd glide into the grass.
That was weird. Is that how they come out of teleporting?
Yeah, I mean, as goofy as that is, I kind of want to praise it for going above and beyond and trying to like think about continuity things and transition, where it's like, what does it look like when they come out of a teleport rather than just showing up? Like, I guess it's cool that they're trying stuff. It's silly.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they actually like wired him in like that, or if they just like did that in post, like dragged his body down.
Okay, maybe we're not chasing a baby carriage. I mean, we had that one episode where they did that for a second. Maybe I'm conflating the two, and I keep thinking that there's one that does it like a whole episode.
Maybe Power Rangers has rotted your brain, Cap.
That is very plausible.
That is an almost certainty.
I had this naive idea when we started this, that watching all these in such close proximity, I would remember more things about episodes and when they happen and the order and stuff. And like, I some stuff I do, but a lot of it just runs together. Like, this is one of the least binge-worthy shows ever, and we're binging it hard. I like this monster, DJ. The like squinty eyes that do this are really strange.
Yeah, they're really weird.
But it is kind of horrifying. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the It Clown meets the ice cream monster from the Tick. And there's probably 2 or 3 other things I could throw in there too, but was that Uncle Creamy? Uncle Creamy.
Speaking of the Tick, how much more entertaining would this show be if the junior police officer kind of commanding person was played by Patrick Warburton?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably pick a lot of actual trained comedic actors to play that role.
I mean,
yeah,
at this point in the 90s, I'm not sure if he would be a big name.
That's true, but there aren't a lot of people that start on Power Rangers that aren't Rangers.
Okay, good point.
There are some, but for the most part, anybody you've ever heard of that actually keeps going played a Power. And there's not a lot of those either. But there are some,
Cabin in the Woods girl.
Yeah, and that guy in
SPD.
And but I was gonna say the guy in RPM who's in Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah. The Red Ranger in SPD goes on to do more things.
And then of course the Pink Ranger in RPM, I think it's RPM, is the girl in iZombie.
I just forgot that, David, but thank you, because I never actually watched Seinfeld. So
Seinfeld.
He was a reason why Patrick Warburton wouldn't have been able to do this is he was in his middle of his role as David Putty on Seinfeld. So he was apparently quite big.
Yeah, and he was doing voice work and he was doing stuff in the 90s. He wouldn't have wound up on this show, probably. I mean, he could have maybe voiced a one-off monster or something, but most of the people that did that weren't actually anybody yet. Yeah. They were people that were just trying to start their careers. And a lot of actors, a lot of one-off actors and guest stars are day players. And
man, this song, are you listening to the lyrics?
No, I was not.
I feel like we've always said that everything Ron Wasserman does is gold, but I think we just forget about the bad stuff because this song is really weird.
No, we definitely do. Everything he does, everything he does that they put on the soundtrack like a decade ago that they released is gold.
Yeah, there's a reason why We Must Stop Them or whatever the song's called did not make it on there.
And this one does sound like a Wasserman thing. I would need to do some research and see how involved he was at this point, because the Gold Ranger song is not him.
Yeah.
But this sounds way too much like a Wasserman song, so it's gotta be.
I love he's holding the cog behind him as he's talking on his communicator. That's a very Jackie Chan-esque thing.
Yeah, and it's also hilarious that his communicator has to be under the glove. It's kind of awkward. You'd think you could just talk into your helmet. You wouldn't think you need that.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, baby.
There's the stroller.
Wow.
There's the stroller.
Oh no,
fact,
Joey!
that baby performed all of its own stunts.
Do you think that the reason
this was all Sentai footage, and that's why we had to come up with something? But anyway, sorry. What?
I was about to say, do you think that's the reason we had to get an Asian-looking baby because of some of the shots in that?
Oh my god, I think you're right. I think that's exactly why we did that. Why is his staff a double barber pole?
Well, I mean, that's just one of his many themes he's got going on.
Yeah, he's got a barbershop thing going on with his ice cream thing and his clown thing.
Sometimes it feels like they just run a Mad Lib before they write these episodes.
Cinematographic says he's leaving and coming back because he says we sound like we're rolling our eyes.
How do you
I'm not
sound?
literally rolling my eyes.
I guess, DJ, that just means like the things we're saying, we must be rolling our eyes while we're talking, right? Like that's what the sound of rolling your eyes is, the sarcasm that accompanies it.
Well, that's just this show, so I don't know when you're going to come back because
that's true. You might want to wait till Dino Thunder. I don't. No, I'm just kidding. Lucas Green says that people have said Zeo is less flashy RPM. I don't really know where you get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the premises are totally different, right?
Well, the Sentai, I was looking into a little bit, is actually a team, it's like a military team that they're all part of, that they join and they're able to become Rangers. So
okay.
That being
There's a bunch of other series that do stuff like that.
I don't think this version is anything like RPM. It's just high school kids.
Yeah. But I mean, like, SPD has a little bit of that too.
Well, maybe RPM. Does RPM have like robot bad guys? Is that what he's talking about?
Maybe so. Maybe that's why he's saying that, yeah. Thomas says, or wants to know why one of the Zords looks like a Dalek from Doctor Who. Yeah, it does. That's true.
Two of them, actually.
I guess both of the feet, really.
Yeah, they just ran out of animals, so they're just like feet.
Feet Zords. I don't care what anybody says. I love that Megazord, but I'm biased. It was the one I had.
And the helmet power-ups really are a cool thing, and not something I've ever seen again, actually.
You know, it is. Oh, cool. I've won you over on the helmet power-ups. What's weird is, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they released figures for the bad guys in this show. And, or at least much. And as much as I'm not a big fan of the Machine Empire, you'd think you'd have gotten like a Orbis and... Okay, so the baby did have something to do with this project.
But he said your use of the baby was brilliant, so they added that themselves? Why would they choose to undergo that? I guess to get a good grade.
They had an ulterior motive for babysitting.
Discount Jeff Bridges is doing an amazing job.
I don't think this is a horrible episode. I think it's pretty average.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I remembered it or expected it to be. We didn't have any more Bulk and Skull having to do stuff with a baby, so that was a mercy.
Bulk and Skull just ran into Chief Stone and then left for the rest of the episode.
David says Machine Empire was a big reason that he checked out when Zeo started. Yeah, I think it was a big mistake not to figure out how to continue to integrate Zed and Rita better. Or at least maybe make up your own bad guy again, but use some of the Machine Empire stuff, because they're just kind of dull. Or DJ, do you think that you could have just made them more interesting and kept what was there? Like, is it what we did with it, or is it the visuals of the Sentai footage?
I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like it's much weirder than anything else in the first 3 seasons. I think the voices could have just been better.
It's not that it's too weird or it's not weird enough, because that sometimes is also a problem in Power Rangers, where it's like, nah, you didn't go to the 9s like you ought to have. No, for me, it was always that it's not over the top enough. It's not absurd enough. It's not they tried to treat it at the beginning like, now stuff's getting real, right? Where we have like these really serious, scary, like can kill anything, bad guys, and then the Regal thing could be interesting, but it's kind of not. They're just boring. Maybe the problem is that they get as much screen time as Zed and Rita did. Just keep them off the screen.
Well, they weren't in that one that much. They just kind of jumped in, threw the villain at them, and just left. I don't know. I haven't seen all of this, so I don't know how much screen time they get. But yeah, I can see them being pretty boring.
Well, later on, they get rid of Mondo and Machina for a while, and they replace them with the Elder Prince, who kind of takes over. And then you have Louis Kaboom, who's another guy who kind of like the Hydro Hog, who feels like a one-off villain who gets a bunch of episodes. Except he actually does get several episodes, I believe. I don't think it's like Hydro Hog where he gets 2, but maybe I'm wrong. I keep being wrong about this stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff could have been cool. Bringing in like factions and stuff. Like, they had a lot of potential, but apparently they didn't stick it because.
And they still have the best putties.
Yeah, the cogs look great. I like the cogs.
All right, we move on now to Rangers in the Outfield. This is episode 6 of season 1. Everybody get ready to press play when I say now, and let's just jump straight into it. Here we go. Everybody, please press play right now.
Back to action.
So, 559 OERS says they're at least better than Divatox. But, like, she's at least, like, having a good time and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they just need better voice actors who are having fun with it.
I think we got way too wild with Zed and Rita and Rito and stuff to scale it back so far if they weren't going to be, like, early Zed scary. I think that's kind of the problem with the Machine Empire.
Yeah,
I agree.
We built them up so much, and then they're just like, I don't know. They did not live up to the hype.
That's what Lucas says. He says, I never understood why Rita and Zed feared this empire when they're no dangerous than Rita and Zed. Yeah, they're really not. But that's that's the risk you run, or like the thing that it happened too quick, but like eventually that's going to happen when your formula is they have to lose every episode. We at least played that up and were self-aware about it with Master Vile, where he was like, well, with that line that I love, where he's like, well, I might have lost, but you guys have lost 100 times. And then he kept losing. And then he started just like crying like a little baby. But with Mondo and Machina, it's just like immediately they're beaten very easily. And it's just business as usual. Another day at the office. So finally, we've got another sports episode that's not football. We did 2 of those before we got to this, and I'm assuming that's because of football Sentai footage.
This is interesting.
Between 2 different series.
We're only in like the 4th or 5th episode, and this is already the 2nd episode with Tanya and this guy. Do you remember?
Oh,
that?
yeah.
It's been a while.
Is he going to be her Angela? Except I don't hate him yet.
They did like a music radio episode earlier. Oh, she's going to be the one that's really good at it.
Way to go. You caught a ball with your bare hand.
I mean, baseballs they can be a little tough to catch with a bare hand.
Yeah.
I mean
hard. You can do it.
This show is so progressive. They have a girl playing baseball.
And catching with a bare hand. But if I was Adam, I would have had this moment where I'm like, wait a minute. Did you catch that because you're good at catching or because you're a Power Ranger? And are you maybe like letting on too much, but everybody else around us? You're using your powers to catch baseballs.
Wait a minute. I'm also a Power Ranger. I'm confused. Adam.
Yeah, do we make it clear that they have super strength and speed and stuff? Is it like the 2017 movie?
Don't.
That would require the show to make anything clear.
Jeffrey, that's why I like the idea that Adam is confused, because even he's a little fuzzy on what they're capable of doing. So he's just like, did you catch? Like, I guess I could have maybe too, but I don't even know if I can do that. I just think that's
just
really
the one shot of him clapping, he was just kind of like, where am I?
Everybody's a little dazed and confused.
Wait, I don't see Ben Affleck.
Slow motion, classic. Gotta have that. Oh yeah, that was weird. Okay, that was an inappropriate use of slow motion, I've decided. That you're gonna have it as he's swinging and then have him go out of it in normal speed. Like, it was awkward. That didn't work at all. Okay,
And
Mondo,
that's
do
the highlight
something.
reel.
That's pretty funny. They sim ignore because they are. Okay, this was a thing that we would do in Mighty Morphin every now and again, where it's like one of the henchmen comes up with a plan that's terrible and doesn't work at all.
Yeah, like when Squat and Babu do a plan or something.
Yeah, but usually they come up with it on their own, and then they put it into motion, and it was unauthorized. Here, like, I would be flinching a lot more than they are when Mondo proposes that, because being like, okay, you're just saying that because you've lost 5 times, and if you lose this time, it's my fault. Like, you're really throwing yourself under the bus potentially.
Is this going to cause a rift in their relationship because she just embarrassed them?
I don't remember.
Hey, recurring.
Lucas says, would you say the series is only interesting until the Gold Ranger shows up? I'd say the show isn't interesting until the Gold Ranger shows up.
Is that what he meant? That might be what he meant.
Maybe so. I'm kind of looking at my watch underneath my gauntlet right now.
It seems like we're putting more focus on the out of costume stuff so far this season.
Yeah. Well, and you had a lot of potential. I know we've talked about this, but you had potential with. We just brought this girl from the past to the present. We did nothing with it and kind of retconned it. You could really let the new 3 from the second season take center spotlight in a way they never have before. Now that we've gotten rid of Kimberly, and that we've only got 5 Rangers and Billy's not always hanging out with them, which, by the way, I think he still is going to school with them, and occasionally we'll have scenes with them at school, but most of the time he's just in the command center.
Just skipping out, yeah, until he'll graduate early.
We essentially have 2 alphas now. One of them is just more competent, and weirdly is giving a much more like believable and nuanced performance than he did at the beginning of the show. DJ, an unsettling recurring thought I'm having is, how come my favorite things in Power Rangers are my favorite things in Power Rangers?
Yeah, this is kind of, I've said it before, but a shattering disillusionment.
What, just this whole series? just doing Morphin Mania?
This whole exercise.
It's a really lengthy exercise. Like, these are a lot of days of our lives we will never get back. And Jeffrey, these were the days of our lives.
You know, in a way, Power Rangers are my stories.
God, every day, DJ, we just sit around and watch this as the world turns.
We need something to center us, to really ground us in today, in the past.
Hi.
What are they doing?
Centerness. Drink Topo Chico mineral water.
Is that really mineral water?
Yes.
Why is it in a beer bottle?
No, it's in
Twisted lime. You and the limes, Jeffrey.
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, we've never consulted him about his lime experiment.
That's true. That's what we haven't talked about to Jeffrey since we did that.
We did not do well with that.
It was easier than I thought it would be. I didn't get all the way through mine because I was talking and stuff, and Eric made a giant mess, and then I ruined the sound somehow in my machine, so I wasn't able to even do the show right. So I just quit doing that. But
between shows, I could run downstairs and get a lime.
Would you just keep them on tap?
Well, I do eat limes quite regularly.
How do you deal with the juice everywhere?
Eric said it made his teeth hurt.
You eat it methodically.
Eric had teeth problems over it.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
Okay, so we haven't been talking over the scene because I have nothing to say.
Bulk and Skull had a batting
something. They
cage.
need to calm down. Then they ran away.
We just got a nice close-up of his morpher hanging out of his backpack. Is that going to go somewhere?
They're just these morphers are a lot less practical than the last ones because they're a lot bigger and there's 2 parts to them. Or are you just carrying around one? I can't remember. We figured this out at one point. Is it that you put it on and then the other one shows up, or are you carrying 2 pieces? I can't remember.
I don't know. But yeah, the morphers, they'll kind of stay like this forever almost, where they're almost always this big old bulky plastic thing on your wrist.
Yeah, where they used to go on your belt buckle. At least in the costume, they went on your belt buckle.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with them when they weren't. I guess they always just pull them out of their back pocket or whatever.
Oh no, Lucas, I love these morphers. They're some of my favorites. I'm just saying I don't think they're as practical as the last ones because they're a little bit bulkier. But like Power Rangers is about being a toy commercial, it's not really about being practical. This is not a great monster.
People pitter. That's cool. Did a butterfly twist.
Yeah, the cogs apparently can come up from a portal from anywhere. It's like a boom tube. Like sometimes it comes from from like underground, and it just looks like the universe is in there. Sort of like the universe is in the stomach or in the chest of the Power Rangers in 2017. Just the whole universe is in there.
So they're called the Zeonizers.
Yes, the Zeonizers.
They just made that up. They pulled that out of there.
Well, sure. What's wrong with that? It sounds better than Zeomorphers, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Man!
It Zeonizes them. It's kind of nice that this episode is kind of centered on 2 Rangers at the same time. This is kind of a Tanya and Adam episode.
Well, it's kind of I don't know. Rocky's the one that got kidnapped.
Oh, that's true. But see, now Adam's in charge. Or he's got to figure things out. He's got to figure it out.
Oh, no. Whose Zeonizer did they take then? Rocky's? They must have taken Rocky's because he just morphed.
Yeah, it must have been.
Do we always call it morphed from now on?
What do you mean?
Like, is it always called morphed even though it's not Mighty Morphin anymore?
Yeah. I mean, we still morph. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Didn't know if that was across the board.
It may not be across the board, but I thought so. And that's the reason that the Neil Saban era has gone back to its morphin time. That is one of the few things that we've always kept around, as far as I know.
What in tarnation?
Oh, I like that. Cinegraphic says, Rocky ain't Raphael, guys. He's got to get kidnapped. Okay, this is really silly.
He just got in one of the go-karts. It seems like
How is it helping you to get in the go? Just stay out of the go-karts. I don't understand.
Have they sped up this footage?
Yes, they have.
See,
they are still speeding up this footage.
You have to speed it up to match Wasserman's guitar riffs. What? She's in like a speedboat. This scene is insane.
I'm gonna go on record to say I might have just skipped this one when I'm adapting to Power Rangers. This is some Sentai footage I might have just left out. Wait a minute. Is this episode the reason that it occurs to us to make a racing game, a car racing game based on this material? Because I realize that they use like the motorcycles that are in the show in that game, I think. But we just had Zeo Rangers go-kart racing a la Mario Kart.
Have you played that game yet? Have you found a copy?
No, I've not done that yet.
Okay. It's like $100 and something on Amazon.
Is it? Well, I might just have to emulate it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find a used copy or something.
I will do my best. I mean, a lot of that stuff's getting really out of hand now with so many collectors in the market for that stuff. That's the thing I've been looking into a lot lately, like the way YouTube channels and other collectors online have been, affecting the market and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people who get really angry about it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, but the problem with getting mad about it for me is all the games I wouldn't know about if you didn't have all these collectors showing off their collections and talking about this stuff. Like, I'm so much more knowledgeable in video games than I ever would have been if there wasn't so much, for lack of a better word, scholarship on the subject now.
Yeah.
So I remember that last episode being the most goofy and outlandish of the series. Look at this.
Oh, this is nothing. Wait till we get to the musical episode.
Wait. Oh my God. Don't throw the baby.
No, that's how they always make the monsters grow.
How does he get back to the moon, though? He just flies?
Well, I mean, probably the same way the cogs do, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have those boom tube portals.
That's just what we're going to call them.
Sure, why not? Doesn't have a proper name. It probably does, and I just don't know what it is. So I have praised the idea of the silly ladder things just because it's nice to know that they're actually in a hangar, the Megazord, the Zords. But the problem with it is that would mean that they would have to like beam back there to get in it and then come back here. That's clearly not what's going on. Yeah. So it's not that much less silly than the Zords just coming from every corner of the Earth.
I just want to see the footage that they're cutting out where the Rangers have to like get up and go and switch seats every time they switch helmets. It's like a movie theater. Because Rocky got in the front seat for a little bit when they used the pyramid power, whatever that means.
Hey, it's at least better than 2017 where they're not in a cockpit.
No, that's terrible. They're just in bulbs on the outside.
That is a thing I did not notice until we watched it. Like,
it's terrible.
How vulnerable are you then? Like, you cut one off and you can't function anymore.
Yeah, because they each control, in that version, they each control like a body part, a limb.
Yeah. Fire missiles at the bubbles and you're done. So I expected more baseball puns.
It wasn't really related.
This was not having, well, except that for the fact that they fought a giant pitching machine, or what they called a pitching machine. Because the thing is, okay, what's weird is they adapted a Sentai episode that wasn't about baseball. It was about a bunch of other sports that you just like go to an arcade to play.
Yeah, it's like a little what are those called? We had one called Fun Town where it was just like go-karts and putt-putt and rock climbing and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were just riffing on that stuff.
I can't remember watching Power Rangers at all as a kid, but I do remember obsessively watching the Ken Burns documentary on baseball.
And that's why Jeffrey is the way he is.
Are you joking, or is that actually true?
No, I'm just being completely serious. I just thought it was odd.
Ravic makes a good point. He says there are no Rangers in the outfield.
Yeah, it should be Rangers in the infield, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen that, by the way?
Have I seen what?
It's no relation to Angels in the Outfield, but Angels in the Infield is a movie with Patrick Warburton.
I've not seen that.
Who is a pitcher. It's very weird. They do like this whole In the Jungle musical bit where people just start going into. It's weird.
No, great. Well, you say it's no relation. Wasn't that like a direct-to-video, like sort of sequel, but it didn't have anything to do with the characters in that?
Yeah, I think it was just coasting off the name.
It's just coasting off the name, yeah. Because they did 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah, but
I think there's another one too.
Angels in the End Zone actually went to theaters, though.
That's right. Did it? Wow. Okay.
It was more in that vein, I think. I think Angels in the Infield
is Airbud. Playing right field. Yeah, see, look, there are no Rangers out there. See, that's not a Ranger. Wait, who is that?
Is that Rocky?
Oh, is that Rocky? Because that would be a Ranger. Oh, that is Rocky. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that's a Ranger. He was in the outfield. All right, so that works.
But did he use his Ranger powers? Are they cheaters?
Well, there's no way to know. And I don't think Zordon could tell you either. Like, he can complain about it. You would assume that there would be like a spike in the Morphin grid or whatever technobabble you want to use, but
they didn't
so vague,
escalate that
no.
game. The other team was trash. They didn't escalate it. The other team was trash talking. They had to go down, Cap.
Yeah, look, Zordon, you said we could only escalate the fight if Rita forced us to, and in this particular case, that was Rita, okay? They were our opponents, and they escalated it. See, we're allowed to have some interpersonal conflict between these characters, but not our actual Rangers still. We still don't do that.
Yeah, that was actually like an actual scene in like a kids show. That was crazy.
Yeah, she lost her boyfriend.
They were dating?
Stood up for herself.
They were.
And
for
at the
a
end
second
of the
or a
episode,
scene?
cool.
No, he was here in an earlier episode.
But that's cool to actually do that for this show at the end of an episode. That would normally be like the beginning, and then the end would all be wrapped up perfect.
Yeah, and then they fix everything, or he would be introduced to be an awful person that she shouldn't be dating in the first place, but then would probably turn out to be a nice guy at heart, and then they would just go their separate ways or something. No, that was actually not like a straight up happy ending.
Yeah. Good job, Zia.
They allowed like life things to happen. Like it's still, written pretty melodramatic and kind of two-dimensional, but it happened. That's nice.
Yeah, I could buy that happening if your girlfriend joined your baseball
I just mean
team.
the dialogue. I just mean the things coming out of their mouths. That's all I'm saying. Wow. So we had a baby theme, and then we had a baseball theme, sort of. And now we got a dog theme right after I mentioned Air Bud. So, folks, that's pretty good. David says there should be a machine umpire, but Shing. So, if you're watching live, stick around with us. We're going to go on to another couple of episodes, hopefully that are a little bit less dull than the last couple. Those weren't terrible, but I didn't love them. Next up, we've got Every Dog Has His Day and the Puppet Blaster. So look forward to that. If you're watching after the fact, thanks a bunch for tuning in to today's episode of Morphin Mania. We'll see you again tomorrow. Once again, I am Captain Logan. If you're watching live, like I said, stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm Captain Logan. This was DJ.
It's me.
And our guest commentator tonight, Jeffrey Patron.
It's Topo time.
See you there, folks.
Are you getting paid by them or something? You keep.
I want to.
Bye, folks.